The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Hello and welcome to a new thing we're doing. It's Coaches in Cars Getting Coffee. I'm Adam Cavalier. I'm the voice of the Eagles alongside Carson Newman offensive line coach Joe Ray. Joe, normally around this time it's training camp and we're doing position previews, but instead of the traditional, hey, let's sit on the practice field and talk, I think it's more appropriate that we fuel and we hydrate a little bit. And we're going to go get a little coffee and talk offensive line as opposed to just sitting on the practice field. So 60 beans is the spot. It's a hot day. I think we're both iced coffee guys today. At least that's my gut. But let's talk O-line. Man, what a challenging adventure that was last year for Carson Newman. A lot of injuries, a lot of youth. What did that enable the room to grow, though, in the offseason?
I feel like between the offseason coming up to right now is, I think we had a lot of growth. A lot of growth throughout this past year, which I think was phenomenal. I had a lot of young guys out there, like you said. And what's better for a young guy than to be able to go out there and just get that experience right now? That's the way they can be able to maximize their potential, being able to get out there and be able to do some great things, but also along that way, being able to have the opportunity to get some growth. So throughout that time, a lot of those young guys that were out there that were playing, they ended up had a huge opportunity to be able to grow and huge opportunity to get into this past spring to be able to build off everything that they learned from the fall and being able to show up ready and conditioned, throughout this past summer, ready to run before camp.
I think the thing that you got to allude to, if you talk about the offensive line from last year, that you played in 10 different games, and it wasn't until the 10th game that you were starting the same guy in the same position that he played the previous week. And even, we haven't done an official two deep for this year yet, but it feels like nobody who played their position last year, granted a lot of that was due to injury, is at the position they played last year, but that's probably a good thing because you got guys that they're more natural fit.
Absolutely. I tell you what, it's really great for our offensive linemen to end up playing multiple positions. You understand like you're one position, but once you get to that point where you get into multiple spots across the board of that line, you end up becoming a little bit cerebral in a way. You end up understanding the bigger picture. And once you understand that bigger picture, it helps you move a little bit faster knowing what's going on, helps you come off that ball a little bit more with a little bit more fire, right? So it's really great to understand that big picture, know what's going on. And then that way, at that point too, you can also play anywhere across the board, but you also even specialize in position at the same time, which is great.
Ethan Marshall's really the guy with the most experience coming back, but he's one of those guys probably out of position a year ago, back at his more natural tackle spot for 2022. How nice is it to have watched his growth?
Oh, it's been really nice to watch his growth. We had to bounce Ethan around a little bit this past fall, and he doesn't care. He'll go down to any position. It's no big deal. It's no big deal for anybody across in our offensive line room. They're happy to play any position that they get in, because the big thing is, them just really working together. They understand we want to be able to get our best five out there, and sometimes you may have to be able to play in that position that you're not really quite accustomed to. So I always tell them, like, hey guys, you got to be ready to play any position across this board. And I think Ethan did a really good job of that this past season, and I definitely believe Ethan will be ready to do that right now if need be. He got a lot of experience at every position across that board, so he's pretty much ready to do anything.
It's an interesting dynamic because, you have guys that are in some degree known commodities, but it's been a minute. I think of Christian Jones, played offensive line before switching to the defensive line in 2019. COVID opt-out and then ineligible last season. He's back. Colt Sinor has one of the greatest stories potentially of any football player in America if Antonio Wimbush is comeback player of the year. Let's just go ahead and pencil in a cancer survivor for that. What do guys having guys like that back bring to the table?
It brings a lot of energy to our room. You know, I've been harping on this, you know, throughout this camp. I've been harping on it a little bit throughout the summer, throughout this past spring, is we want to be able to be that position group that's going to be coming out every single day setting the tone. You know, I think, you know, it's a progression. All right, so we got, you know, progression at practice. We want to be able to have our individual and have our fundamentals from that be able to take us to inside drill, take us to half line, be able to have that take us whenever we go to team later on. It's the same thing with setting the tone. They got to be able to set the tone with each other while they're around on campus, all right? They got to be able to set that tone when they get out there to practice and be able to set the tone in individual, carry that on over to inside, carry it on over to team group run, and be able to do it on 11-on-11 as well.
I think you saw the team and the offensive line in particular start to make strides toward that end late last season. You know what it takes to block in the South Atlantic Conference.
Absolutely.
Three-time Jacobs blocking trophy winner. What lends you to believe that with an actual spring practice period under their belts, this group is starting to trend toward that capability?
They're starting to trend toward that capability. They've been working on their fundamentals. I mean, that's where it always starts with the offensive line. They come out there with a great, enthusiastic type of attitude. They set that tone, and they're able to build off that. So that energy that they build off of each other, the whole offense builds off of it too. I start, you know, emphasizing to them like, hey, you guys, you got to realize you were 5 people out of 11 on the whole offense. That's almost half the entire offense. So you're out there, you set that tone, everything becomes contagious, and they get the day rolling.
Who that's new in the fray jumps off the page to you? Somebody that a Carson Newman fan might not be aware of or expecting?
Well, I got 2 older guys right now. You know, got 2 older guys. You know, they've came in, they've done a really great job. They're just natural leaders. They came into the offensive line room. We got Michael Pepin and we got Brian Doe that's came in. Those 2 guys definitely done a really great job coming in, being new faces, and I think they do a really great job fitting in with our offensive line room.
Pepin, a transfer from Tusculum. Doe, a transfer from, been all over the map, really, Houston Baptist by way of St. Anselm. Offensive line, I think of the makeup of Carson Newman's offensive line, at least over the last decade since I've been with the school. And there's really only one transfer that sticks out. Now, he was a pretty good one. Derek Evans won a Remington Trophy. How difficult is it for a transfer? Granted, the veer is still a part of Carson Newman's offensive scheme, but it's probably not what it was under Ken Sparks and Mike Turner. How tough is it for a transfer to come in on the offensive line and make an impact?
Well, there's different nuances, right? You know, not everybody's running the veer anymore, right? Not everybody's really into that veer type of game. So, you know, kind of hearing those new concepts is new for them. But, you know, I think guys like Brian Doe and Michael Pepin and even Claude Van Jones, they've done a really great job doing that.
What do you want, Joe?
Hey, you know what? Can I get an iced coffee, the biggest one you got? All right? I want no sugar, no cream, and just ice, just black coffee. That'd be phenomenal. And can I have a cup of water as well, too, please?
Absolutely.
I'm going to go with a large iced mocha, please.
Now, I heard there's waffles here as well. Sir?
That's it. I'm not letting you get waffles.
I can't get a waffle?
No, you can't get a waffle.
Try to squeeze that in.
Classic offensive line.
The offensive line room, they'd be so proud right now.
Said I hear Waffle House.
It's in their name, you know?
Wow. Even though it's in their name, I believe this place has a better waffle.
See, here's the item to get here. It's the gyro.
The gyro.
Yeah, big gyro guy.
The gyro. Big gyro guy. Phenomenal.
Let's see, Joe, I got a decent waistline. And I know food.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
you got to go with the 60 Beans Gyro. Interesting, straight black coffee.
Straight black coffee. It
Is
just hits different.
I mean, I understand. I need a little sweet.
Hey.
I need a little sweet.
Hey,
when we're going with it.
if I'm asking and pressing the offensive line to set the tone every day, I got to set the tone with this coffee. All right.
Straight black.
Straight black coffee gets you going.
Is that? Are you going to change that early in the morning? Does that change based on the time of day?
Doesn't
This a
change.
lunchtime
It could
coffee?
be -3 degrees outside. I'm like, yeah, let me get a straight black iced coffee.
3 degrees. It's interesting.
I might go light ice if it's -3 degrees.
Really? Just let it be.
Let it get cold
be
by
chill.
itself.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
So talking about the transfers, a little bit of a challenge, but the nature of the offense aids in their progression, I suppose. Fair?
Absolutely. Fair enough.
Who among the freshmen, you get the transfer, sure, who among the freshmen, I know it's early in camp.
Hey, it's early in camp.
But who among the freshmen sticks out?
And the guys that stick out to me, we got Fletcher Gibson. He sticks out to me. I was just screaming at him in the weight room as we were walking to the car. I was like, hey, Fletcher, hey, set the tone. You heard me. He nodded his head. He started going harder. I love it. Got me fired up coming out to get some coffee with you. So, Fletcher Gibson, he's been doing a really good job.
Thank you.
We definitely got Xavier Shoemaker. He's been doing a really great job with us, too. So those two guys, for sure, freshmen that are here right now, I think they've been doing really well. I think they're having a really good fall camp so far, even though we're pretty much early in, but they've been doing great.
It is always tough to do these so early in camp because, over the course of 3 weeks, you have so much that can happen.
Yes.
With that in mind, what is the overall goal to get this offensive line ready and rip-roaring to go to open up the season September 1 against West Georgia?
Just to get them ready, it's the same thing. I keep emphasizing it. If they continue to come out here and set the tone, they do everything to the best of their capability every single day, they got nothing to worry about. And I think we got a really good offensive line room with a lot of really good leaders. And I believe their leadership alone will be able to carry them into this first game and carry us throughout the rest of the season as well.
It's so, on one hand, odd, on one hand, refreshing to hear that from a team that had its struggles up front last year, and yet knows the history of this program, knows the history specifically of the position group, and what the offensive lines of days gone past have meant to Carson Newman. What grasp, if any, does this unit have of the history of what being a Carson Newman offensive lineman means so early in their really tenures here?
Absolutely. You think about Carson Newman University. It's a program that's just rich in history by itself, especially when you think about an offensive line room, right? I don't know if you may know this question or not. I might have to put you on the spot here because I might not be sure myself, but the schools that have the most Jacobs Block and Trophy winners within the South Atlantic Conference, I'm not sure what school that would be.
I can't answer that.
I believe it's Carson Newman. I believe it is Carson Newman. It would be something good to look up to double check. But if the facts are right, I believe Carson Newman is the leader of being able to have the most most Jacobs Block winners.
Here's what we can go with, because I'm a big fan of centers.
Okay.
Most Remington trophies among all D2, D3, NAI, and FCS programs at Carson Newman in the last decade. That one I do know off the top of my head.
Awesome.
The Jacobs Blocking Trophy. You might make me add a page to the media guide.
There we go. Let's add a page to the media guide. I think that'd be phenomenal.
Certainly the most All-American offensive lineman.
Absolutely.
Out of any South Atlantic Conference school. That one I can boldly proclaim.
No doubt.
Without checking the media guide.
Absolutely.
References.
But yes, a lot of history here, at Carson Newman University, especially within the offensive line room. And, just being able to understand that history and trying to keep that tradition here, I think that's tremendous for the offensive line. So, it's definitely a lot of pressure to try to put on the offensive line, but hey, as long as they're showing up every single day, being where they're supposed to be, doing what they're supposed to be doing, I think we got a really great group of guys to be able to get all that done.
Joe Ray, we're back at the KSAC. You've got your large black iced coffee.
That's right.
In hand. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for breaking down the offensive line with us and Coaches in Cars.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He is Carson Newman's offensive line coach, Joe Ray. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, and this is the Eagle Sports Network.
Go Eagles.